the news tonight, President Muhammadu Buhari calls on the new management team of ECOWAS to complete the review and harmonization of ongoing reforms aimed at strengthening the sub-regional body. President Buhari reiterates his commitment to handing over leadership to an elected president on May 29 next year. While on the foreign scene, Chadian courts hands jail terms of between 2 and 3 years to 262 people. Good evening, and we are glad to have you join us on the Major Report. I am Olubomi Ajiboye Agbola. President Muhammadu Buhari has called on the new management team at Economic Community of West African States Commission, led by Dr. Umar Aliu Toure, to complete the review and harmonization of ongoing reforms aimed at strengthening the sub-regional body. The president gave the charge in Abuja in his welcome address at the 62nd Ordinary Session of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government. He said the Commission must work assiduously to complete the review and harmonization of the protocols on good governance and democracy, as this would enable the sub-region to sustain their collective efforts to deepen democracy and dividends through good governance to the community citizens. President Muhammadu Buhari has reiterated his commitment to handing over leadership to an elected president on May 29 next year, in line with the Constitution, saying that his term in office will end on that day. In a brief remark to the Minister of National Education, Preschool and Sport of the Kingdom of Morocco, Shakib Ben Musa, who visited the State House as Special Envoy of King Mohammed VI, President Buhari said his term of office will end with the inauguration of a new president in May next year. He, however, said that he will study the message sent and respond accordingly, giving assurances at the same time that he will continue to cherish and strengthen the very warm and cordial relations between the two countries. Accompanied by the resident representative of the kingdom in Nigeria, Moha Ali Tagma, the special envoy reiterated to the president the friendship and solidarity of the king, the government, and the people of Morocco with Nigeria. The House of Representatives Committee on Public Accounts has summoned the managing director of Nigeria Bulk Electricity Trading PLC over 4.014 trillion naira revenue and debt owned by some international electricity customers, namely Republic of Togo, Republic of Benin, and Niger Republic. The notice is contained in a letter titled Reconsideration of Auditor General for the Federation Annual, noting that the committee does not allow representation. The notice directed the organization managing director to appear in person alongside Dr. Marilyn Amobi, who served as the managing director and the chief executive officer from 2016 to 2020 to justify the reason for non-rendition of the audited accounts from 2014 to date. Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke has assured that his administration will complete the projects left behind by his predecessor, in line with the popular belief that government is a continuous exercise. Governor Adeleke gave the assurance while addressing the lawmakers during his maiden visit to the State House of Assembly. Parliamentary reporter Oluwatosin Oladokuna reports.
This is the first time since its inauguration that Governor Ademola Adeleke will be meeting members of Osun State House of Assembly. Immediately, the governor arrived at the State House of Assembly complex. He met the lawmakers behind the closed door, while plenary was aired thereafter. At the plenary, the Speaker of Osun State House of Assembly, Honorable Timothy Uwe, had welcomed the Executive Governor of the state, Senator Ademola Adeleke, into the floor of the chambers. In his address, the Speaker, Honorable Timothy Uwe, assured the governor that Osun State House of Assembly, under his leadership, will offer needed support towards ensuring that his administration's focal points are achieved.
My colleagues and the 7th Assembly congratulate you on your inauguration as the Executive Governor of this state. I have no doubt in my mind that you will work assiduously towards delivering on the focal points of your manifesto and make life prosperous for our people. Your Excellency, we are happy that you have decided to come here this morning to identify with this arm of government, which is the bedrock of our democracy. We are grateful for the honor and we promise to reciprocate same in no distant time.
He said that globally, the legislative arm of government is a sacred institution that is strengthening democracy. Therefore, sanctity of law must be strictly adhered to, while pledging the unfailing support of the members of the 7th Assembly. The Speaker maintained that due process in accordance with the rules of law will be enhanced.
It is important that your administration continue to uphold the rule of law and principle of fair hearing.
In his remarks, Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke expressed delight visiting members of the state parliament. He noted that his projections and promises for Osun citizens can only be met through the unwavering cooperation, collaboration, and support of members of Osun State House of Assembly. Governor Adeleke reiterated his commitment and dedication towards ensuring constant communication with the members of the state parliament, especially by always carrying them along in his programs and policies.
Who has started very well, and I promise him that our administration will not cheat anybody. This administration of ours will be a collective one, a collective wisdom. We have discussed so many things, so many issues, and we have concluded that today that we will work together.
He used the occasion to announce the administration's readiness to continue to complete the projects inherited from his predecessors.
I assure you, government is a continuous process. Whatever my predecessors left behind, I will continue.
According to him, running an open door and collective administration that will touch the lives of all and sundry positively, irrespective of class, is of premium paramount. Oluwatosin Oladopo, Osbc News.
Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke has ordered prompt payment of salaries to all workers in the state. According to a release by the spokesperson to the Executive Governor, Osun State Malam Olawale Rashid, any ministry, department, and agency that fails to submit its salary schedule today will be sanctioned. The release also stressed that any head of agency who obstructs the process of scheduling will face disciplinary procedures. The warning is equal to reports that some agencies are still holding onto their agency schedules despite the directive of Governor Ademola Adeleke, who had directed the immediate conclusion of documentation for payment of salaries. In the meantime, Osun State government has declared its vindication on the recent exposure of large-scale looting of government quarters, including that of the governor, deputy governor, and other quarters. A statement by the spokesperson to Governor Ademola Adeleke, Malam Olawale Rashid, explained that the admittance by the immediate past commissioner of information, Mrs. Funke Gbemode, that the looting was carried out by unknown men confirmed the revelation by Adeleke's government. The statement added that the truth of the matter is that Adeleke's government is not involved in lies and propaganda as alleged by the opposition. Malam Olawale explained that as a new administration, Governor Ademola Adeleke has a duty to report what he meant on ground to the people of Osun State, more so that the retailer's administration refused to conduct proper handing over. According to him, the running of an open government entails disclosing both assets and liabilities of the state government. It will be recalled that the immediate past administration, through the former commissioner for information, Mrs. Funke Gbemode, had said that looting of the official residence of the former deputy governor and other quarters within government house was carried out by unknown men. adding that the looting was reported to the state commandant of Nigeria's Security and Civil Defense Corps when it was discovered. The Independent National Electoral Commission has again suffered another attack on its facilities in Imo State, according to a statement made available by Festus Okoye, National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee. The Commission office in Oru West Local Government Area was attacked last Sunday, while investigations revealed that it was the second time INEC facilities will be touched with the Southeast State, as its office in Oru Local Government Area was also attacked this month. While no critical facilities were affected in the attack, INEC expressed great concern over what is described as a coordinated and systematic attack on its facilities across the country on the conduct of elections in particular and electoral activities in general. Confirming the incident in Owerri, the Imo State Police Command Public Relations Officer, CSP Michael Abatam, said that the tactical team of the police command foiled the attack. As the Nigerian Railway Corporation resumes operation on the Abuja-Kaduna train service today, the federal government may have lost a whopping 6.6 billion naira to the 251 days shutdown following the March 28 terrorist attack on the train in Rigasa, Kaduna State. The report says the conservative estimate of loss is coming a day after the managing director of NRC, Fidet Ohireya, said government lost about 113 million naira to inactivity on the route for over 8 months, while noting that many Nigerians also incurred losses indirectly due to the halt of operations on the route. Ohireya said the last time the corporation checked, that was between the months of February to August. The breakdown of the amount lost to the suspension showed that NRC lost approximately 6.6 billion naira revenue that could have been raked from ticket sales. Checks also revealed that coaches flying the Abuja-Kaduna rail line have the capacity to carry between 900 and 1,000 passengers per trip. An average economy ticket before the suspension sold between 2,800 naira and 3,000 naira, while VIP tickets sold for 6,000 naira. Petroleum product marketers under the aegis of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria have threatened to shut down fuel stations this week if the federal government, through the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, fails to do the needful by making petrol available to them. Speaking with journalists at the IPMAN headquarters in Ibadan, Oyo State, the Nigerian Labour Congress, petroleum tankers drivers, and others on the possibility of resolving the scarcity, the IPMAN chairman, Alhaji Bukola Moti, noted that Nigerians should not blame independent marketers for the current fuel scarcity in the country. Alhaji Moti, however, concluded that if the federal government, through the NNPC, fails to act accordingly on the situation at hand, marketers will be left with no other option than to withdraw their services, stating that even as they are selling at a high price, they still run at a loss. Meanwhile, as Nigerians continue to grapple with the problems of shortage of premium motor spirits and fuel price hike, the Independent National Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria has dissociated itself from the current scarcity of the premium motor spirits, which is ravaging the country. Taiwo Alaki has the details of this and more from the business scene.
The Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria has dissociated itself from the current scarcity of the premium motor spirits, also known as petrol, which is ravaging the country. IPMAN, in a statement signed by Ogun State Chairman Mosimi Depot Femi Adelaja, attributed the current scarcity of petrol in Ogun State to the federal government and the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation's failure to make the product available for its member at affordable prices. He added that the overhead cost of the price of purchase brings the landing cost of fuel to between 245 naira and 250 per litre, excluding transportation with cost charges of 15 per litre from Lagos to Abeokuta, depending on the location to offload such. Adelaja, however, advised the federal government to remove the subsidy on petrol and ensure a total deregulation of the sector while dedicating each of the NNPC depots for the service of the IPMA members in each of the states, including Kwara. Meanwhile, oil marketers have said the claim by the Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority that the NNPCL had petrol stock that would last for 34 days was untrue. Elsewhere, the number of active telecommunication subscribers hit 214.35 million in October. According to new industry statistics from the Nigeria Communications Commission, this is the highest number of recorded telecom subscribers in the nation since the total number of subscribers peaked at 207.58 million in October 2020, months before the SIM NIN leakage. Telcos disclosed that more subscribers were getting new SIMs in a bid to circumvent restrictions on SIMs that had not been linked with their national identification number. The average daily gross connection was 48.1% above the pre-directive level, partly driven by the cohorts of subscribers who were initially restricted and opted to register new SIMs. Combined with increased usage from the existing base, these have supported an acceleration in the service revenue growth recovery and mitigated the impact of churn of the base. Taiwo Alake, Osbc News.
You are welcome to our sports segment. Saudi Arabian club Al Nassr has made a huge offer to sign Portugal forward Cristiano Ronaldo after the World Cup. Ronaldo, aged 37, is a free agent after his Manchester United contract was terminated last month following a controversial interview. Omotayo Adebodun takes us through the sporting.
Striker Gabriel Jesus is said to be out for 1 month after suffering a knee injury at the ongoing Qatar World Cup. Jesus, who is 25 years, got injured in Brazil's final group game against Cameroon, which the former lost 1-0 thanks to a Vincent Abubakar stoppage time goal. Following his second half substitution, Gabriel Jesus complained of pain in his knee, with Brazil team doctor Rodrigo Lasma commenting on the knock. He is expected to return to action in January as he looks to rest up and recover ahead of the busy second half of the season. His absence from Arsenal will likely see him miss the Boxing Day home clash against Brighton before the New Year's Eve trip to Brighton. It remains to be seen whether Jesus will be involved in the matches against Newcastle on January 3rd, Tottenham Hotspur on the 15th of January, and Manchester United on the 22nd of January. Meanwhile, Raheem Sterling has left the England World Cup squad in Qatar and returned to London after his home was burgled. The Chelsea winger, who is 27 years, missed Sunday's last 16th victory over Senegal after the incident on Saturday. Surrey police said the occupant of the house returned to find jewelry and watches had been taken. No threat of violence was involved. The player's spokesperson said Sterling was prioritizing the well-being of his 3 young children. Sterling is the second player to leave the England squad after Arsenal defender Ben White, who returned to UK on the 30th of November for personal reasons. In the meantime, a number of clubs have expressed interest in Cristiano Ronaldo, with Al Nassr's offer the biggest at around €200 million a year, according to reports. He criticized the club and said he had no respect for manager Erik ten Hag. It is understood Ronaldo is fully committed to Portugal's World Cup campaign and is not intending to make a decision about his future plan until that is over. Portugal faces Switzerland in the last 16 in Qatar tomorrow. Although he is a free agent, Ronaldo is not allowed to sign for a new club until the 1st of January, as he was contracted to United when a last transfer window closed. Ronaldo has scored 145 goals in 346 appearances for United over 2 spells, leaving for Real Madrid in 2009 before returning to Old Trafford from Juventus in 2021. He had just over 7 months remaining on his £500,000 a week contract with Manchester United. Omotayo Adebodun, OSBC News.
To the foreign scene, a Chadian court has handed jail terms of between 2 and 3 years to 262 people who were arrested after deadly protests in October. Sarah Omidele has the details of this and more from the foreign desk.
A total of 401 people had been put on trial in Korotoro prison, a high-security jail located in the desert 600 kilometers from the capital, N'Djamena. Prosecutor Musa Wade in Jibrin said 80 were given suspended terms and 59 were released, but lawyers boycotted proceedings on the ground of legality. The trial ended after 4 days, with only state TV having the right to provide coverage, and the sentences were announced on Monday after the prosecutor returned to the capital. Charges facing the defendants, including taking part in an unauthorized gathering, destroying belongings, arson, and disturbing public order. Around 50 people, including 10 members of the security forces, died when police opened fire on demonstrators in N'Djamena and several other cities. But opposition groups said the real count was much higher and alleged unarmed civilians were massacred. The protest had been called to mark the date when Chad's ruling military had initially promised to cede power. Meanwhile, the conservative-dominated U.S. Supreme Court examined the question in a case that closely resembles one from just a few years ago, pitting religious liberty and free speech rights against anti-discrimination laws. Report says the nation's highest court partially ruled in favor of a Colorado baker who had refused to make a wedding cake for a gay couple. The latest case involves a suit filed by Lori Smith, owner of 303 Creative, a website design company also in Colorado. Smith added that, as a devout Christian, she cannot produce wedding websites for same-sex couples because it would be inconsistent with her religious beliefs. Colorado's anti-discrimination law prohibits businesses from refusing services to someone on the basis of sexual orientation. An appeal court ruled against Smith and she appealed to the Supreme Court. In their brief on the court, lawyers for Smith said she is willing to create custom websites for anyone, including those who identify as LGBT, provided their message does not conflict with her religious views. However, attorneys for Colorado said the law simply requires that once a business offers a product or service to the public, the business sells it to all. Sarah Omidele, OSBC News.
To end the major reports, here's a recap of some of the top stories. President Muhammadu Buhari has reiterated commitment to hand over, saying May 29 is sacrosanct. Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke assured of completion of projects left by his predecessor. We also told you that Chadian court has jailed 262 people over protest, and that ends the major report on OSBC TV. It was edited by Kayode Adebayo. I am Olubumi Ajiboye saying good night.
My name is Femi Adebayo. This holiday season, StarTimes is taking us